Hey guys, how's it going? Splash Cards here, back with a new video, and this is me. Hello, I am Splash Cards 83, and this is my podcast, which I am going to be calling Splash Talks. If you guys like the name, leave a little like down and tell me in the comments. But if not, leave some recommendations. It's going to be called Splash Talks because I'm going to be talking about whatever it is that's going on in the sports world, card world, whatever it is. But yeah, this episode is going to be on the first games of the NBA preseason and kind of getting into how teams are looking after the first times they played together and also what teams are going to need some improvements, even though it's only just been one game. So I have a couple of the games pulled up here. I don't really have a full on script for this, which I probably should have considering that I am doing a podcast. But the first game I want to get into is on Saturday, October 7th, the Timberwolves and Mavericks. I'm loading up the box score here. I didn't get to watch any of this game, but I do know that in terms of the starters for the Timberwolves, Gobert did solid. His plus minus was the highest on the team, so I'm sure that's something that they're going to be looking at as a W considering his off year last year. And obviously, take into account that all of this is just the first game of the season. There's really nothing uh, too big about it, but it's just nice to see some teams looking good from the start. Cat looked good. Conley looked solid. He only played 7 minutes, but Nikhil Alexander Walker looked pretty good. Edwards looked great coming off of that international break with the USA and stuff like that. Yeah, some of these bench guys, like who's this? Is this Leonard Miller? Yeah, he did solid. Leonard Miller he ended up with 10 points. He had a couple turnovers, so not too great there. But Anderson and Troy Brown had good plus minuses. Naz Reid had a great game, 14 points, 6 for 8 from the field, 2 for 2 from three, 3 rebounds. Coming back from that hand injury, I think he suffered last season. So yeah, in terms of the Timberwolves, box score looks solid. For the Mavericks, though, this is where it gets kind of interesting in terms of the young guys. Doncic obviously did his thing, 18 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 for 12 from the field. Not the best shooting splits, but Jaden Hardy is definitely a bright spot in the team. Some good youth there. He had 22 points. He did have 6 turnovers. His plus minus was minus 13, but he had 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He ended up going 40% from three, 4 for 10, and then 9 from 21 from the field. Shot the most shots in the game. Um, for the bench and the starters, Derek Lively started, didn't do too hot there at the starting position. He did get 3 blocks though, so I guess that is something you look at. Same with Grant Williams, not the best performance, but it is preseason. Um, in terms of the bench, Dwight Powell had a good plus minus, but only played 7 minutes, so there's not much to analyze there. Tim Hardaway looks solid. This guy, Oliver Prosper, I believe he is a rookie. He ended up shooting 10 times, but ended up going 20%. So 2 for 10, 0 for 5 from three. He had 5 points, 6 rebounds. Maybe that's a guy that likes to shoot a lot. I don't know too much about him coming out of the draft, but in terms of this, it was a good game. The Timberwolves ended up winning 104-96. Don't know if I said that, but I do want to watch some of these highlights here just real quick, see if there's anything that really catches me at the start. I know that Derek Lively's a big pick and roll guy. As here I see Doncic in a pick and roll with Lively. That one could be scary because Lively's a good lob threat. Not a great shooter, but he will give it to you. But Doncic right off the bat with a big three. Cat was smooth with it. Just want to take a quick look at these games, kind of see what's going on here. Some good 3-point shooting from the teams. Lively getting big with it, but yeah, I mean, for a rookie, a little soft with the hands. Cat playing aggressively, and Gobert honestly seems to have a pretty solid game. Um, and obviously, this is all just looking at the recap. Obviously, they only show the highlights and all that, but I think Edwards is going to have a great year. I think Edwards showed a lot playing for Team USA that he's ready, put in the work, and he's scary. He's athletic. He's getting better at shooting. He's very aggressive, and as we know, he will give it to you on a poster. Speaking of poster, I just saw Nas Reed get a nice one, and Nas Reed is one of those other guys too that's interesting because he likes to score. He likes to shoot the ball. He is very energetic in terms of the way he plays. Is he better than Gobert? Is he better than Cat? No. Is there a situation where they think that they can get something for Gobert and that Nas Reed can fill in that spot for him? Yeah, I think there is. And I think that we could see a trade potentially coming from the Timberwolves. Obviously, Gobert might be tough to get rid of and stuff like that. But Nas Reed is real, man. I like the energy he brings to the table. I remember last year, if you guys don't know, Suns fan, but he roasted us purely because of his athleticism, and he was just he wanted it. He was hungry in the paint. um, but I'll be getting to the Suns later. But yeah, I mean, Cat being aggressive, which I love to see. Edwards shooting well. It seemed to be a very good game. I want to skip towards the end here, kind of see if it was close by any means. Yeah, 3 point game with a minute left. Wolves hit a three. Yeah, big three there by Miller. So I guess that was one of his big shots. Was one of those threes. Um, yeah, so the game kind of ended up there with a minute and a half left. It became a 9 point game, even though it was a 2 point or 3 point game with 2 minutes left. So good execution by the Timberwolves to finish off that game. I do like the Timberwolves this season. I think they got some depth where it counts, like Jordan McLaughlin. I think he is a very solid backup point guard if he ends up playing that. Shake Milton, an underrated guy coming in at the two, and Nas Reed is there. So interesting game. I think that one is a important game to keep in touch with. Not obviously it's preseason, but that was their second game. They had a game before that where Shake Milton had a great game, I believe. So that was the second preseason game for them. But I don't know. Between that, the Mavericks are just Kyrie didn't play this game, so that's another thing to keep in mind. But the Mavericks are they're a tricky team to be looking at because they have Doncic. Obviously, Doncic is amazing, but after that and Kyrie, it gets very very iffy, very very fast. But okay, let me see this here. Okay, next game I wanted to get into is the Chris Paul first game for the Golden State Warriors. I personally did not watch this, so I'm going to be watching the recap. I did see some some lowlights by some players. I'll get to that one in a second. But Warriors end up taking this one, 125-108. They dominated pretty much the whole game. There wasn't a quarter that they lost. Um, and I'm going to start with the Warriors here. So lineup was fairly normal. Draymond did not end up playing. He had that left ankle sprain, which kept him out of the game. So the starting lineup was Paul, Curry, Thompson, Wiggins, and Looney. So fairly small in the sense that your four is Wiggins, your five is Looney. You're playing Thompson at the three, Curry at the one, or Curry and Paul kind of share the one and the two, but they only played 13 minutes, not a lot. Thompson looked good. Not a great shooting night. He had 10 points. Curry with 8 points. Paul with six. Paul looks smooth. I think Paul really fits in with this team. He had 6 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. If Paul can figure out this Warriors offense and really click and connect with Curry, Thompson, and all those guys, him and Draymond as facilitators is going to be scary for any team. So Warriors can be right back at it this season. Looney, solid. Looney's always going to give you. I mean, he had 4 points, 5 rebounds. He's always going to give you that. You know what you're going to get from Looney. Very consistent. But the big thing about this game was the Kuminga game. So Kuminga ends up with 24 points, 8 for 14 from the field, 4 for 8 from three, 50% from three, which is huge for him. Good free throw shooting, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He did have 5 turnovers, but it's okay. He had 5 blocks, and these are all things that you love to see as a Warriors fan. You love to see Kuminga. You love to see Paul fitting in. And then another guy, Moses Moody, 15 points. He shot 6 for 13, 2 for 6 from three. It's okay. The season's just starting. He ended up with 4 rebounds, 2 assists. If those guys can really click, and if Kuminga, Moody can get it coming off the bench, being that spark for them, Saric looks really good. I love Sarge. If you guys know, he played for the Suns. He's a great aggressive player, really good playmaker, and I think an underrated shooter in my opinion. We saw Tracy Jackson Davis get some good minutes, but he only put up one shot, 0 points. And Podzimski, definitely butchering that, but he played 26 minutes. 11 points, 5 for 11, 1 from 2. Maybe a backup guard there for the team. I don't know much about him, but yeah, Warriors looked great, and that's all without Draymond. Then we get to the Lakers. It's a little bit of a different story in terms that the the Lakers, right? LeBron didn't play, so that's something there. LeBron didn't play. Keep that in mind. But Davis played 13 minutes, 15 points. He looked solid, 15 points, 5 rebounds. Um, Rui, 12 points in 21 minutes, good shooting. Jared Vanderbilt looked pretty solid. Good defense as always, good rebounds. D'Angelo Russell actually looked pretty good. If he can keep this up in the season, they're definitely going to need it. 15 points, 60% from the field, 66% from three, 5 assists. Gabe Vincent looked good. Gabe Vincent is a newer fit into the team, so it might take him a little bit to adjust to the new systems and stuff. Christian Wood did not have a great game. 2 for 8 from the field, 5 points. Um, Yeah, Max Christie. Max Christie actually looked solid. So Max Christie ended the game with 15, 60% from the field, 6 for 10, 2 for 4 from three, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and Jalen Hood Shafino ended up playing a lot. Not great shooting, 3 for 11, but 7 points. But the low light for this game for me was the Cam Reddish performance. 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 3 from three, 0 for 3 from three. 1 point, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 turnovers, minus 22 on the plus minus. Cam Reddish was a guy I was excited to see on the Lakers because of what I thought his potential could be in the sense that they're looking for a guy like him that will shoot well, that will play well, give his all. And he just looked really rough and out of touch there. First preseason game, I'm not saying anything, but he didn't look great. But that's really all there is to that one. I'm going to go over the quick recap here for the Lakers game. Let's see, first play here, not first play, but we see Davis being aggressive, which we love to see. I mean, Anthony Davis, when he is healthy, when he is playing the way that he can play, he is an MVP contender, DPOY contender, most definitely. And yeah, these first couple possessions, we really see Davis going at Looney. And Looney is a good defender. Looney is a big defender. He is tough to get around and beat in the post. So this is big for Davis to build up some confidence before the season starts. D'Lo is smooth with it. If D'Lo can really click with this Lakers squad, Lakers are going to be scary. Keep in mind, all this is without LeBron. LeBron brings a different game to the table. I don't even I said differently. But once again, Davis being aggressive here. You love to see it. Paul getting some good shots up, and yeah, with Paul's mid range, Curry and Thompson stretching. I mean, it's the Warriors are going to be a tough team to stop purely because of the way that they're built right. I mean, they're good. They got good defenders. They got Gary Payton back on the squad. They got Kuminga is a good defender. Sarge a good defender. Paul a good defender. Thompson a good defender. Green, Looney, all those guys are all great defenders. Wiggins, I totally forgot about Wiggins. Like, they are just surrounded by defense, which is one of the things that is underrated about the Warriors dynasty is that yeah, they were built off of 3-point shooting, but if you go back and look at their defense is what wins championships, and it shows because the Warriors had a phenomenal defense, which was underrated because they deserve more credit for their defense. Um, yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of Anthony Davis big plays, Rui going at it, which you like to see. This one I don't think was very close at any point. Um, Moses Moody, he's an interesting guy because he's been in the league for a while, but yet he hasn't gotten his full chance yet. I know before 2 seasons ago, people were really high on him, and he had a great summer league and preseason, and they played him a little bit, and he wasn't super consistent. But I know he's been playing for the Warriors. I'm not sure how much exactly, but it'll be interesting to see if he has an increased role this season. Um, But yeah, I mean, this is a scary Warriors team, a scary Lakers team, and if the Lakers can get it to click, they're going to be good. If the Warriors get it to click, and you already know the Warriors have it clicked. I remember whenever they go through a rough patch, everybody starts saying, "Oh, the Warriors, the Warriors," but they won the championship as a 6 seed, I believe, and it doesn't mean anything. It's all the playoffs. If the Warriors can get to the playoffs, you have to watch out for the Warriors because they're the freaking Warriors. But this game ended not close, not a lot to say. Anthony Davis being aggressive, which you love to see. The starters for the Warriors didn't play that much, but Paul looks good. Looks good in the jersey too. But yeah, that's it for that game. The next one here is the Is it the Bulls game? Let me check. Yes, so the Bulls and Bucks. This one is a very fun game because it was 105-102. The Bucks ended up winning, but the Bulls looked good. The Bucks looked good, and yet the Bucks had no Giannis, no Middleton, no Lillard, uh, no Campaign. I don't know if Campaign's going to be in their rotation, but no Giannis, no Middleton, no Lillard, and yet they still pull off the win. They, the Bucks, man, people are questioning their depth and stuff, but they look scary because I'm gonna start with them here. Jay Crowder, 10 points, good shooting. Jay Crowder is one of those guys that, as a Suns fan, you miss being on your team because he's a good shooter. He gets it done defensively. He moves the ball. He does everything you need in that role player, and he's gonna fit perfectly around Lillard, around Giannis, and that's just a great player there for that team. Same with Bobby Portis. Love the energy. He had a great game. 8 points, 4 for 5 shooting. Lopez 11, good 3-point shooting. Malik Beasley is probably going to be that spark off the bench for them. 13 points, 5 for 10 from the field, and yeah, I mean, we saw the young guy, Marjon Beauchamp, with 18 points, 9 rebounds, 5 for 11 from the field. I know he had that crazy pro-am run or something like that where he had 79. I don't remember exactly what it was, but so he's been super high, especially in the card market. But Marjon Beauchamp proven it here with 18 points, 18 and 9, that he can be a real deal off the bench for this Bucks team, maybe even slide in and be that other starter. So that's a big one. Thanasis looked good, 6 for 8, 14 points. And yeah, these guys looked good. Pat Connaughton, 8 points on 3 for 8 shooting. The Bucks with Lillard, they are going to be good. And then on the other side of the spectrum, right, we have the Bulls. The Bulls have their whole team. The only one they don't have is Lonzo Ball. When he comes back, that's the question: is will he be back the same way he was before? Obviously, um, oh gosh, Stephen A. Smith thinks that Lonzo can't get out of a chair. So we'll see. You never know. um, but yeah, for the Bulls, they lost by 3 points against the Bucks team that didn't play their top 3 players. Levine didn't. They actually played their starters a decent amount. We saw Levine was 17, Vooch and DeRozan was 17, and they looked okay. They looked solid, nothing too crazy. Kobe White in 23 minutes looked good, 6 for 10, 14 points. He looked solid. Patrick Williams, 4 for 9, 3 for 6 from three, 13 points. The Bulls this season are going to need a spark from Patrick Williams. Defensively, he's there. Offensively, he has to get there this season for them, especially with the lack of Lonzo Ball. And then in terms of their bench, it's a little lackluster in the sense that it's a bunch of nobodies in the nicest way possible. um, they have Torrey Craig, who I love Torrey Craig, but he didn't shoot very well today. Andre Drummond, 8 points, 3 for 8 shooting. That's not what you want from your center exactly. Javon Carter. Javon Carter can be a spark. Love Javon Carter. Great defensive minded player and really can be a spark off the bench for these Bulls. But then you see Caruso with an okay game, Dosunmu with a solid game, but you're going to need those guys to step it up if you want to be a playoff team or a play-in team in this league. Because right now with Levine, Kobe White, DeRozan, Williams, and Vucevic, that's not a starting lineup that's going to get you there. So you're going to need your bench with Dosunmu, Carter, Drummond, Torrey Craig, and you're going to need some of these young guys like um, Dalen Terry or Terry Taylor or Terry Taylor, I think is his name. You're gonna need some of these young guys to step up. Caruso. So that's an interesting game. I'm gonna do the recap thing again and see what kind of went on here. Yeah, I mean we see right off the bat decent defense by the Bulls. The Bulls are going to be a offensive minded team in the sense that Vucevic isn't a great defender. Levine isn't a great defender. Kobe White isn't a great defender. DeRozan's a solid defender, but Patrick Williams is a great defender, but that's only one guy. So they can match up against the one star. They put Patrick Williams on here, but besides that, against a team like these Bucks, if they play them in the regular season with everybody healthy on the Bucks, I mean, who's going to be on Lillard? Who's going to be on Giannis? Who's going to be on Middleton? That's the problem for me with the Bulls. You need Lonzo back desperately, and I mean, the Bulls were off to a very hot start, up by 14 early in the in the first quarter, but then the Bucks chipped their way back. Bobby Portis looks electric right now. Marjon Beauchamp, I'm excited to see what he can do. You know, he's one of those young guys with good potential, athletic, solid shooter. What can he do for this team? We'll see. Is it preseason? Yeah. Has he gotten his chances in the regular season? Not as much. And will he get them this year? Probably, because with the lack of depth, I mean lack of depth on this Bucks team, he's going to get some minutes, and if he can provide in those minutes, you can see his role really boost up, and he could be a starter by the end of the season. He could be a starter on this Bucks team, and they might honestly try some stuff. But I mean, I'm loving the ball movement by the Bucks. Bucks are always going to be good, and this is all without Giannis and those other guys. The first game with Lillard and Giannis is going to be great. Definitely gonna be watching that one. Yeah, just gonna skip here. It was a close game. Tied game in the fourth. I want to see what happened here at the end because Bucks up by 6, Bucks up by 7, up by 9, and then the Bulls must have just gotten close. Yeah, defensive mishap there, a 3 for the Bulls, offensive boards. And then it got all tied up. So the Bulls came back by 4 points in a minute, all tied up with 30 seconds. Who was that? Beauchamp missed it. Portis missed it. And then no idea. Some random who's 26. I don't know who that is. Um it's not Pat Connaughton, so I don't know who that is, but some guy, and oh my gosh, who is that? Is that Io? Some guy just posterized so that's not Io. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry for not knowing who that is, but poster at the end, and then the Bucks must have got a 3 or something. But so that game ended with a good ending, which you like to see from preseason. Um, but yeah, so a nice array of games here for this first ones, and then gonna get into the next one here. Yeah, so this next one that I want to get into. Sorry for that cut there. I had to stop the recording and then redo it so I didn't run out of time on it. But this next one I want to get into, my personal favorite of the day, the Suns and Pistons. If you guys don't know, as I already said earlier in the video, I am a diehard Suns fan. So this one was an interesting one for me to watch. I watched almost the whole game, so I can talk a little bit more about this one without watching the recap. Um, but Suns pull away in overtime, 130 to 126, and this game was awesome. It was fun to watch for multiple reasons, but the first one I want to get into, I'm gonna save the bone for last, is this Pistons team. It's deeper than you think it is, but at the same time, it's not as strong as you think it would be for it to be this deep. I mean, we saw players like this is Asar Thompson, I believe. Yeah, Asar Thompson getting the start, his first game, 12 points, 33% from the field, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. He seems like one of those guys that can do just about everything on the field, on the court. And I mean, he played 39 minutes tonight. That's a lot for preseason, but I'm excited for him. I'm happy for him. I think he's going to fit in with this Pistons team, and I think he's got a good future to come. Isaiah Stewart, 11 points. Three rebounds, didn't play too hot today. 1 for 6 from three. Jalen Duren, in my opinion, he had 6 points tonight. He had one rebound and 6 points. He needs to get that starting job in Detroit. He needs to be the guy that they go to, in the sense that, yes, they have centers, they have Wiseman and other players, but Duran has the highest potential. He was pretty solid last season and can be really good this year if they unleash him. And talking about unleashing, Cade Cunningham is another one of those guys that has that superstar potential, which you're looking for if you're a Pistons fan, right? And if you're the Pistons in general, you're looking for that. And I think you have it with Cade Cunningham. 12 points, minus 24 in the plus minus, 5 for 15 from the field, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. He is coming back from that shin splint, or that shin stress fracture injury. And he looked okay. Yeah, he didn't shoot very well, but his playmaking looks solid. He brings the energy to the team. He's already taking that leadership role, which you love to see. And Alec Burks, you know what you're going to get from him. He got 6 points, 50% from the field, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. Alec Burks looks solid. But the bench is the interesting part, because you have your players that, should you be giving up on them yet? No. Um, because of these reasons, right? Marvin Bagley, Kings took him with the second overall pick in the 2018 draft over Luka, over Trae Young, over Jaren, and they gave up on him, I think. Is Marvin Bagley going to be the type of guy that they thought he was going to be? No. Did he have 29 points, 7 rebounds, 10 for 14 from the field? And was he playing dominantly against the Suns team? Yes. Can he be a spark plug for this Pistons team off the bench, or even on the starting squad? Yes. Marvin Bagley is still good. He has that chance. He's coming back from his injuries earlier in his career. Now is his time to prove his point, and he's proving it so far this year. We see Joe Harris with his first game with the Pistons. Looks okay. Good shooter as always. Wiseman, I was slightly disappointed with, in the fact that I didn't feel like he really took his opportunities he was given in this game. He had 4 points, 7 rebounds, but he had 3 turnovers, 2 fouls, only shot twice. And it just seemed like, I mean, my problem with James Wiseman, he has so much potential, but he just seems like he doesn't want to be there. Like, I don't get the feeling that he's the type of guy you want on your team. And it sucks, because coming out of college, he was great. Warriors took him early in the draft and ended up being a flop. So I think he could continue being a flop. Can he turn it around? Obviously, yes. Do these Pistons need a center off the bench? Yes. Can he be that guy? Yes. I know I keep saying yes, 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 but yeah, he can be. Jaden Ivey looked real solid. 15 points, 5 from 8 from the field, 50% from three, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Jaden Ivey is going to be a spark on this team. Pairing Cunningham, Ivy, and Thompson, that is your three. That is your future as a Piston, and that's what you got to go with, right? That's it. That's your core. Aside from that, Duran can be great. Stewart can be there for you. Wiseman, Bagley, those are all guys that can be a part of it. And Killian Hayes, I know there's a lot of slander going around about Killian Hayes, about him not being great. His shooting splits aren't great. But today he looked solid. 13 points, 7 assists, 5 steals on 5 for 8 shooting, 3 for 3 from the line. If he limits his 3-point shooting, he only shot one shot from three, and he can facilitate the way he can. He gets to the basket aggressively. Killian Hayes can be a good player in the NBA. I don't think anything of it. I know watching Killian Hayes, seems like he has that potential. He's not there in the sense of his shot creation. He's taking the shots when he's not open, and he's not taking the shots when he is open. So I think if he's playing aggressive and he's going for it, he can be a great backup PG on this team and a good part of the future. This other guy here, I don't know, I don't want to butcher his name, but Stanley Umude. He is a rookie this year, and he looked solid. I don't know where he's coming out of. I actually have never heard of him before this game, but 12 points, 4 for 7, 2 for 5 from three, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, plus 20 on the plus minus, the best on the team, and he was good. He looks solid. Same with Roden. What's his first name? Jared Roden, another first season player out of Seton Hall. He looks good. 2 points. He didn't play that much, but they're surrounded by a team of young players. but you have your veterans with Alec Burks, Bagley's a veteran, Joe Harris, and you have those guys around him. Bojan Bogdanovic didn't play. Monte Morris didn't play. So those are two players that are probably going to be playing in the regular season. And those are mentors for these young guys. And the Pistons team, look, right now, I don't think they're going to be anything, but give them a couple years, they're going to be scary. But here's the fun part. The Phoenix Suns, boy, was I excited in this first quarter. The Phoenix Suns had 46 points. I just hit my table. Had 46 points in the first quarter, right? And then in that first quarter, they shoot 17 for 20 from the field. That is 85%. And the Suns dominated. They won the first quarter 46 to 29. Durant was electric. Booker was electric. Beal was electric. Beal looks amazing on this Sun squad. Okogie looks solid fitting in with those guys. And that starting lineup of Booker, Beal, Okogie, Durant, and Nurkic looks good. Was I underwhelmed with Nurkic? Yes, to the point where he had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 3 turnovers. I think for him to click on this squad, he has to be a spark of energy. Because with Booker, Beal, Durant, they're all semi quiet players in the sense that they're not big and physical. Nurkic is that guy, and he has to be that guy because in this preseason game, I didn't see it as much as I wanted to see it. Do I think Aiden would fit in better? I don't know. It's impossible to tell. But can Nurkic be that guy for this team? Yes. I didn't see it right away. Obviously, they're going to give him the chance. I think they should give him a chance. He deserves to be. I mean, he's a good NBA player, but he's going to have to turn up that notch. It's preseason, I know, but I'm excited to see what the Suns team can do, especially with that starting lineup. The bench, I love the Suns bench. I love it. Do I despise Grayson Allen for the type of player he is? Yes. Do I love it when he's on my team? He has 18 points, 7 for 11 from the field, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block, 0 turnovers. Yes, I love that. Grayson Allen looked great. Aggressive, great shooting. He went at it like he's like, I'm here to win your 6-man spot. That's what I'm here to do. And he showed it. He showed it. We see here another big part of the game. Bol went in for a little bit. He looked okay. Bol's just an interesting guy. I mean, he looks so wonky, but yet he's good, and then he's not good at the same time. You guys can decipher what you think about Bol yourself. But yeah, some of these guys, Chimezi Metu. Can we get a round of applause for Chimezi Metu? 2 for 3 from 3-pointer. He hit 2 back-to-back threes, moving threes in transition. 14 points for him, 3 rebounds. I love Chimezi Metu. I was so happy with that pickup. I think he brings an energy. He brings a sense of physicality to the team, and I hope he gets his opportunity on the team. Drew Eubanks looked good as well. 8 rebounds, 7 points. Is there a chance that during this season Eubanks takes Nurkic's spot, or Chimezi takes Nurkic's spot? I believe so. I don't think Nurkic is set in stone. Is he the better player? Yes. If Eubanks shows it, he has a spot. It's a similar situation last year where the Suns had Jock Landale, but they had Ayton, so they felt like they had to play Ayton. But in the playoffs, they played Landale over Ayton because he was better. And so that could be a situation here in Phoenix. We saw other guys. Yuta Watanabe. I love Yuta Watanabe. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. He looked great. Good shooting. He's going to give you his shots. I mean, Yuta Watanabe is an electric shooter, and I'm so glad he's on the team. Nasir Little looked solid. Keita Bates-Diop looked not great. 3 points, 5 rebounds, but didn't shoot very well. Then Eric Gordon shot 0 for 4 from 3, but still ended up with 8 points. So that's something that we look forward to. And Keon Johnson, the young guy, solid. Saban Lee actually looked okay with the sense that he's aggressive. I like Saban Lee. He was on the Suns roster last year. He gives us all. He really goes at it. But 11 points. He shot 2 for 12, so not great shooting splits. But this Suns team, if they can click, is going to be scary because that starting 5, that starting 4, whatever that is, good. that bench, if the bench plays the way they played today, Suns are good. Lock them in, right? But they got to keep that up. The Suns, but my audio still. But the Suns are just the Suns are good, man. Suns are good. Um, that's really all I have to say about this game. It was a great game in the sense that the Suns won the first quarter by a lot. Then the Pistons came back in the second. Then the Suns went up in the third by a lot. Then the Pistons outscored the Suns in the fourth quarter, 38-18, forcing overtime. Then the Suns win in overtime by 4 points. The overtime performance by the Suns was awesome in the sense that it was very calm, composed, and they dealt with it in a clutch manner, which is something that doesn't happen a lot with your bench unit in preseason. But yeah, that's it for the Suns game. The next one I want to get into is the 76ers Celtics. I also watched part of this game, a good chunk of it. These were the two games I watched. So I'm not going to watch the recap on this one, but I'm going to talk to you guys about it. The first thing is the 76ers. Sixers look good. Embiid didn't play. Um, some other guys didn't play. Melton didn't play. Harden didn't play. I don't know why I didn't say him first. But obviously, Furkan Korkmaz did not play. There's a reason why they lost, because Korkmaz did not play. If you guys do not know, Korkmaz is my favorite. You can't see the name. Korkmaz is my favorite NBA player of all time and will forever hold that title. um, so, yeah, Korkmaz. And actually, let me pull this out. Signed photo of Furkan Korkmaz. So, yeah, that is why they lost, obviously. And another thing I just noticed right now in this podcast, when I say today and yesterday and things like that, I am saying the day of recording. You guys probably won't see this until Monday or Tuesday, so the 9th or 10th, but I'm recording this very late at night on Sunday. So keep that in mind. My dates might be off and my times might be off, but whenever you get it, you get it. But yeah, the 76ers, Tyrese Maxey looks great. He's going to be a star. 24 points. He's probably going to be the James Harden replacement. 24 points, great shooting. He looked great this game. Beverly fits in with this squad. 12 points, 5 for 7 from the field. Good shooting from Patrick Beverly, and he brings that energy that not a lot of people in the NBA can bring, which is something that, look, I don't like Beverly in the sense that I think sometimes he can be dirty, but when he is told to give it his all, he gives it his all, and he goes at it. So I kudos to him for that, and I think on this Sixers team, he can really be that spark. D-Ball Paul looked solid. Tobias Harris, you know what you're going to get. He had 13 points, 5 for 12 from the field. Nothing too crazy there. PJ Tucker didn't shoot a lot. He only shot once, but he looks okay. Didn't seem to age that much during the offseason. Danny Green is back in the Sixers jersey. 15 minutes, 1 for 6 from the field, 1 for 5. 3 points, did not look too great. Philip Petrusev actually looks solid. 6 points, 3 for 3 from the field. Looked okay. Mo Bamba, 3 for 9. Not what you want from your center, but he did okay. Oubre, first time in the Sixers jersey. 6 points, 2 for 7. It just wasn't a great performance by the Sixers in general. Jaden Springer actually looked pretty good. He was probably one of the bigger upsides of this game. 14 points. He had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and good shooting, 2 for 2 from 3. And the Sixers stayed in this game, I'm going to say primarily due to Tyrese Maxey, but Petrusev gave it his all. Jaden Springer did pretty well. The Celtics look good, in my opinion. I think the Celtics are going to be tough to beat. Tatum, an off night, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 for 13 from the field. He looked off in general, kind of sloppy with it, but Jason Tatum is Jason Tatum. Horford didn't seem to age. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Had a great block in the corner. He's right back at it. Tingus Pingus, Kristaps Porzingis, 17 points, 5 for 7, 2 for 3, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Porzingis is a perfect fit in this Celtics team. He fits perfectly right next to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all those guys. He's a floor spacer. He's a shot blocker, shot contester. He's going to hold down the paint. He's going to run the pick and roll, pick and fades. He just opens up that offense, which the Celtics didn't have with Robert Williams. You'd see at times with when Tatum and Brown would drive it to get congested, where now it's open because Porzingis can stretch the floor for them. So it's something I'm excited to see work out in the regular season. We saw Derek White, very solid game, 7 points. He's bald now. Didn't know that. Jaylen Brown with 19. Great shooting splits. Jaylen Brown is Jaylen Brown. Whatever they say about his ball handling does not matter. Jaylen Brown is amazing. But we saw Drew Holiday get his first stint. 2 for 10. Not great. 6 points. But Drew Holiday is going to give it to you on the defense. He's figuring out the system. It's his first game. He'll figure it all out. O'Shea Brissett and Lamar Stevens brought the energy tonight. 7 points, 5 points, 12 points combined for them. But great putback dunks, great aggressiveness on the defensive end, good boards. They really gave it their all, and that's the spark that the Celtics are going to need. From this bench unit, the problem they've had in the past is they don't have a bench unit that is willing to bring that energy and bring that not culture in Boston, but just that energy. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is they need more energy, and now they got it. Another guy, the main story of the game is Mr. Pritchard, 26 points. He had 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 9 for 14 from the field, 6 for 11 from 3. Peyton Pritchard was the guy in this game. When the starters went out, his name was called, and he showed out. Peyton Pritchard went at it, and he played amazing. I mean, Peyton Pritchard put on a clinic for point guards and showed how to score effectively as a point guard, and he did that very well. So without Pritchard, the Celtics don't win this game in preseason, but they looked good. They played everybody really. Drew Holiday came off the bench, but this game was good. It got down to the wire, but the Celtics ended up pulling away in the fourth quarter. But it was a good game. If you guys haven't, I would go watch the recap of that one. Is a solid game in the sense that both teams really put on a show, and it felt like a regular season game, except for the fact that the stars didn't play at the end. That's really all there is to that one. The next one is the Pacers and Grizzlies, and this one I did not watch. This one seems like it went into overtime. It did go into overtime. And let's look at what we got to look at here. Okay, we're going to start with the Grizzlies. Jaren, 18 points, good shooting. Not good from 3, but 5 blocks, 2 steals. He's your reigning DPOY. What more do you expect from him? What less do you expect? Jerry Jackson Jr. is going to give it to you. Steven Adams, consistent as always. 4 boards, 5 rebounds, 2 for 2 from the field. D Rose gets the start instead of Ja Morant because we know what happened to Ja Morant, best shooter in the NBA. Derrick Rose looked good. 13 points, 6 for 8, 2 assists. Is D Rose back? Is the Rose blooming? Luke Kennard, 6 points, 1 for 5. Luke Kennard can be a good shot creator, a good spot up shooter, but didn't seem to be shooting too hot. Desmond Bane, also one of those types of guys, 5 for 13 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Bane is part of the future core of this team. Once we get to the bench here, we see Jake LaRavia, 6 for 14, 15 points. He can be a good, solid bench piece for these guys, a young team. Kenny Lofton, 11 points, 5 for 6. It's another big guy they need. Santi Aldama and Xavier Tillman, 2 4s that look really good. Conchar looks solid. David Roddy looks pretty good, 9 points, 4 for 6. And just seems like an all-around pretty solid game from these Grizzlies. They didn't shoot the 3 ball very well, but they did pull away with the win, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. For the Pacers here, Obi Toppin got the start. Played solid, 7 points. He had 3 for 7 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. Bruce Brown with 5 points. Miles Turner, 6 points. Bruce Brown, I need to mention more about that. His first game with the Pacers, 2 for 8 from the field. He's adjusting. He's learning. TJ McConnell with the start, 11 points. He looked good. And then Benedict Matherin. I can't even speak. Oh my gosh, slow down for a second. I've been talking too much tonight. Benedict Matherin with 18 points, 7 for 13 from the field, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. He's a good piece of this future. He's going to be there for a while, and he looks good. We see Jalen Smith with 9 points, 8 rebounds, 4 for 9. He's probably going to be a backup 4 for the team, I'm assuming. Jarice Walker, the rookie, the 8th overall pick from Houston, I believe. He has 19 points, 4 assists, 9 rebounds. He's going to be starting. He's going to be in Rookie of the Year contentions. Obviously, Victor is there, but Rookie of the Year contender, obviously. He's a good player, and I think he's going to be there. Jordan Nwora, not too hot. Aaron Nesmith, not too hot. 9 points, but shot 1 for 6. The other guy, okay, here he is. Ben Shepherd, the 26th pick in the draft out of Indiana. Don't know much about him, but he had a good game. 15 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He has shot 6 for 16, 3 for 10 from 3. So not great shooting splits, but looks like he was aggressive and he went at it. I'm going to take a look at this recap because I did not see any part of this game. Kind of want to see how it got to overtime. But I'm seeing Pacers running the break. Obi Toppin on the Pacers is a fun one because he brings that lob threat to be paired up with Tyrese Halliburton, which I did not talk about. Pacers are missing some players like Halliburton and Heald, but so are the Grizzlies with John Morant. And yeah, the Pacers, if Benedict Mathurin can step up, if Jarice Walker can be that guy, if Miles Turner has the season he has last year, Tyrese keeps growing. And I'm a big fan of Tyrese Halliburton. I love Halliburton. I think he's a great playmaker, great shot creator, and he is a good future in this NBA as a top tier point guard. And I think, it's this Pacers team. I'm watching them on the break. Yeah, top him with some fast break points early. That's the way they're going to have to play with Halliburton running the break, with Toppin and Jarice Walker running. That's the way you're going to have to play. And here, in terms of the Grizzlies, right? Grizzlies are going to always have that energy to them, but they're going to have to prioritize on their shooting, right? And their dominance down low. Not a lot of mid range shooters on the team, but we see, if John Morant comes back, he's going to have a lot of taking drives to the baskets, and Jaren Jackson Jr. is a threat down there. And also defensively, the Grizzlies are looking good. If Bane can step up on his defense, like I think he can, increase his shooting. If Bane can just grow as a player, they're gonna be scary. Are they up there with the other teams like the Lakers, Warriors, Suns? I don't think so. Nuggets, obviously, I didn't even mention them. Some teams haven't played yet, so I'll catch that later. But yeah, I mean, Kenny Lofton Jr. He's a fun guy to watch for this Grizzlies team. He's a big guy. But I'm seeing him. Did he just Euro step? I think, yeah, I just watched the Kenny Lofton Jr. fake the handoff, do a Euro, miss it, get his rebound, and then tip it in. And then, okay, let's see here. To finish the game, Jalen Smith to the rim and a good contested layup. So that's how they got to overtime. And I want to see the overtime execution here for these teams. So Pacers looked good. And then was it a Smith? No, Smith made that one. Trying to see where this game kind of broke away. Laravia took over, I think, in this overtime. Took some shots for his own. Yep, Laravia with the poster. Oh my, and one on Jalen Smith. Woo! Go watch that one if you can. I don't know what the rules are for YouTube and showing the stuff on a video like this. I don't know what it. I don't think I can, but if I can, then maybe I will in the future. But yeah, that is it for that game. I'm going to cut the video real quick because it's been 30 minutes, and then I'm going to cover the last 2 games. I'll be right back for a second. All right, so we got 2 games left on this podcast. The first one is going to be the Kings against the Raptors. Raptors pull away in this one, 112-99, and fairly convincingly, it seems the Kings made a push in the fourth quarter, but wasn't enough. So I'm gonna start here with the Kings. Sabonis with 7, 6, and 6, 2 steals, looked good, didn't shoot too hot. Barnes looks solid, 11 points. Keegan Murray, 11 points, 50% from the field. Only 20% from 3, though. But Keegan Murray is one of those guys that is going to have a good year if the Kings want to make a good playoff push this season. And I think he can do that. He has the potential. He has the assets. He's a great shooter, good size, good physicality. Can be a good defender. Uh, in terms of here of star power, we see De'Aaron Fox. Not a great game. 2 points, 0 for 6 from the field, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. So nothing really amazing. Actually, very subpar from him. Let's see who else we got here. So this guy, who is this? Sasha Vezen, Sasha Vezenkov. He uh is a the 57th pick in the draft in 2017. Did I read that? Yeah, 2017, but he's a rookie this season. He had 12 points, 4 for 7 from the field, and looks solid. Don't know anything really about him. Davion Mitchell, 8 points, 3 for 7 from the field. Who's this guy? Jordan Ford is a rookie this season. He had 8 points on 4 or 5 from the field. I think that's it. JaVale McGee apparently plays for them now. Had 7 points, 3 for 3 from the field. And yeah, that's really all there is to say. Kevin Herter had 2 points in 14 minutes. So the Kings didn't look great by any means. The Raptors, Scotty looked good. So Scotty Barnes looked good. 15 points, 5 for 9 from the field, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And I am a Scotty Barnes fan. I like the way he plays. He's very well rounded. And do I want him to take that step to be a 27-7 guy? Yes, I think that's what he deserves in the NBA because that's the type of guy he is, and he can get there. Will he? I don't know, but that's the guy. That's the type of guy he is, and I want to see him get there because he's a fun guy to watch. OG, 14 points, 6 for 7, 2 for 2 from three. He looked great. 3 assists, 2 steals. Siakam, solid 8 points, 3 for 6. I didn't play that much. Pirtle and Schroeder rounded up that starting lineup. And then Chris Boucher, 11 points off of 5 for 7 shooting, 6 rebounds, pretty good. And is this Jalen or yes, it's Jalen McDaniels now plays for the Raptors. He ended up with 80% from the field, 4 for 5, 4 rebounds. And then here's the spark for the Raptors. I'm like, this is not enough scoring to be 112 points. Gary Trent Jr. with 22, 7 for 12 from the field. He had 3 steals. Yeah, Gary Trent Jr. dominated this game, and he looked pretty good. Grady Dick ended up playing 14 minutes, 5 points, 2 for 6 from the field. Didn't really shoot that much. Let me watch this recap and see I left the audio on again. Just kind of see what was going on here. The Kings, let's see, how did they score this one? A little midi by Sabonis. Yeah, I mean that the Fox and Sabonis pick and roll is going to have to be there this season. Do I think the Kings have gotten worse from last year? No. Do I think they've gotten better? No. No, not really. So the Kings are kind of in that tough spot where they need their players to grow, but will they? Will Fox be better than he was last year? I don't know. Was that his peak? Will he be the same? If Fox is the same, but Murray gets better and Sabonis gets better, then yeah, that'll be great. But Sabonis seems to be at his peak performance. Fox seems to be at his peak performance. Can Murray take that next step? We got to see. I'm just seeing some aggressive takes by JaVale McGee for like three straight possessions. Davion Mitchell hitting some big shots. There's not much to this game. Gary Trent Jr. is good. OG's a fun guy to watch too. If OG can really click with it this season with the offense and his defense is always there, he's a fun guy to watch. So I'm actually looking forward to that for this Raptors team. Fast forward here, kind of just towards the end, kind of see if there's any noticeable stuff. Yeah, this game just seems to be one of those regular preseason games about two teams that are okay. And the Kings are good. Don't get me wrong, the Kings are good. But the thing that really was there for the Kings last year was that they had that chemistry with everybody. They played as a team, so we got to see if they have that again this season. Grady Dick made a good 3 at the end of the game there. That's nice to see for him. But let's see. We have one game left, and I know when I'm looking at this video, I'm very close. I'm working on this whole podcast thing and figuring it all out. So if you guys have any suggestions about anything, leave them down below in the comments. Uh, but just testing it out, you know. The last game is the Jazz against the Clippers, and that one seems to be a good game. Let's take a look here. The Utah Jazz. Oh, sorry. It is very late here. The Utah Jazz beat the Clippers by 5 points, 101 to 96. And let's see who performed well. So, Markkinen was solid, didn't shoot well from three, but he had 10 points, 8 rebounds. John Collins in his first game with the Jazz ends up with 5 points, 2 for 3 from the field, 4 rebounds. Walker Kessler seems solid, 7 points, 7 rebounds. Sexton didn't shoot very well, 3 points, 1 for 6. And then Taylor Horton Tucker, 13 points, 5 for 13 from the field, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist. And off of the bench, so we got Fontecchio, the fellow Italian, 2 for 7 from the field, 6 points. It's okay. Luka Samanic actually played very well, the former Spur. 9 points, 3 for 4. He was 2 for 2 from three, which you like to see. That rhymed there. Omer Yurtseven, the former Heat, had 4 points. And then Chris Dunn. Wow, Chris Dunn with a 15-point game, 7 for 7 from the field, 5 points, or 5 assists, 2 steals. Shea Baji looked solid, 9 points, 4 for 10 from the field. And is this Keontae George? I believe so. Yes, Keontae George, the 16th pick in the draft, had 10 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds from 2 for 9 from the field, but he did get 5 assists. So Keontae George can be a big piece to this Jazz team. Are the Jazz super exciting in the sense of, are they really that team? No. But could Markin and Collins and Kessler and Horton Tucker and these guys connect? Yeah. Could they make a trade during the season to improve stuff? Yeah. So the Jazz can be an interesting team. Depends on how everything goes with them, though. For this Clippers team, we saw George and Leonard playing tonight. So Kawhi, 4 for 8, 11 points. We see, sorry again. Paul George with 8 points, 5 rebounds. Zubac, 4 points. Bones Highland, 50% from the field, 7 for 14, 18 points. Shot 0 for 6 from three, though. Terrence Mann finished out that starting lineup with 2 points. And then off the bench, really no sparks here at all. Musa Diabate with 8 points. Xavier Moon, I think that's his name. Is that his name? Xavier Moon? Yeah. He 9 points. Amir Coffey, 5 points. So the Clippers seemed all around solid. Bones Highland was the big guy for them. Let me watch this recap, kind of see what went on here. Taylor Horton Tucker seemed to be pretty solid. Bones Highland getting to the basket a lot, getting a lot of fouls. Not a bunch of fouls, but a lot of middies and stuff like that. So that's good to see. Maybe he can be a good spark off the bench for them. I remember when I went to go see the Nuggets play, and he popped off. He had like 12 threes, or not 12 threes. He had like 8 threes, setting the Nuggets rookie record. And I don't know why they got rid of him, but I do know why they got rid of him, because he wasn't what they wanted. But I thought he was a good spark. But as the season went on, he kind of did decline in his performance and didn't take the best shots. But okay, so yeah, this game, the Jazz were up by 12 with 6 minutes. I'm trying to figure out where this game kind of turned, and yeah, with 4 minutes left, it's a 3-point game. Samanic gets blocked, and then is that Norman Powell taking it to the basket? Yeah. So it was a 1-point game, 3-point game, tied game, and then Luka Samanic in the corner for three. I believe that's Luka Samanic. Do not quote me on that. 19 is Samanic. He banks in a three. I need to check. Is number 19 Luka Samanic? It is Luka Samanic with 2 clutch threes, a bank three at the end of the game to give him a 1-point lead, and then Kendrick Nunn did the rest. Defensively, they were there. Kendrick Nunn is nasty. Spin moves all over the place. Wow. So, yeah, a good array of games today, honestly. I want to check the schedule for tomorrow and later. So, yeah, tomorrow we got some good games. I'm looking at soccer. Why? How did soccer schedules popped up for La Liga? Tomorrow we're looking at Boston against New York, San Antonio against OKC. So we got the Chet versus Wemby game. We got Brooklyn against LA, and then yeah, so we got some good games. We got some good games on Tuesday. Phoenix, Denver. That's a good one. Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, if you guys don't know, I don't think I actually said anything about it, but my plan for this podcast is to have kind of like a weekly thing where every Sunday I'm going to upload a video kind of talking about it. And if something major happens, I'll make a quick little video about it. But I really want to kind of get this out there. And whether you guys are seeing this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever, just know that I'm recording this on Sunday night. And if something happens from now and then I don't know about it. Um, but yeah, if you guys have made it through this whole hour, however long this video is going to be, of me talking about random stuff, thank you. And I really appreciate it. If you guys don't mind leaving a like and subscribe, and then drop down your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Like, what can I do to improve? What do you want to see from this? I'll talk about anything. Like, I'll talk about soccer too, and might plan on doing that a little bit here and there, especially as Champions League ramps up, and talk about cards and everything like that. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts, opinions, and everything about the podcast. Hope you guys are having a great, amazing day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.